Oh, man.
Hey, Old Man on the Mat crew. This is Tony Jones coming at you with another great episode of Old Man on the Mat. Guess what I'm going to say? Yep, I am fired up. I say it every time. I know you guys are tired of hearing it, but that's okay. I am excited. Every day you take a breath is a good day, and today is another one of those good days. But, guys, thank you once again. I love thanking you guys in the beginning of this thing. Just so you know, without you guys, I wouldn't be putting this stuff out. But I appreciate all your support you give me, the good, the bad, the ugly. I love it all, and I appreciate you guys. But, guys, today's guest today is, I won't say controversial, but I would say infamous. Let's go with that. This guy is awesome. He's done a lot of things out there. This guy is the founder of the Louisville MMA Fight Club. He established it in 1993. He has multiple black belt ranks in Judo, Taijutsu, Brazilian Jiu Jitsu, Taekwondo, Karate, and Sambo. The man gets around. But, guys, with that, I'm going to give you the man, the myth, the living legend, Gavin Wurth, a.k.a. Hilo Howley, right?
Yeah,
How you doing, brother?
you nailed it. That's quite an introduction. We need to get you a ring announcer.
That's right, man.
Gig.
I need one of those big
Yeah.
checks from Vegas.
I'm telling you, man, those guys, they're getting paid. They're really getting paid. I mean, I was a longtime boxing fan, and I remember those, the Let's Get Ready to Rumble, and
Oh, yeah.
man, he just what a perfect. The momentum was nuts, and man,
Yeah.
growing up in Louisville, for a fair portion of my life, I just loved boxing. It was a major part of the town, of course, Muhammad Ali and all that stuff. But yeah, buddy, I've never missed Tuesday night fights on I think USA back then.
Oh, man, that's old school. That's way back then.
Buddy.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. A matter of fact, I am just recently for the, I do my memes, right?
Yeah.
And so that's basically kind of how I communicate with the martial arts world these days through memes. And naturally, as you well pointed out, I definitely ruffled a few feathers, but I don't mind doing that. I think it's par for the course. You need to get people interested and involved and visceral. You need to strike a chord with them and get them thinking. And just recently, one of the last UFCs, we had a match that was similar to a lot of fights where one fighter really moved a lot, backed up a lot, and all this. And I remember I quoted one of my favorite boxing analysts from way back in the day, Sean O'Grady. This guy was just, if you ever remember those sequences back in the gym with Sean O'Grady, and I actually contacted him on Facebook. And I was able, it was great. I was talking with Sean O'Grady. I'm like, this man was living legend for me growing up watching USA Tuesday night fights. And he said these prophetic words, and I wish we would do this in MMA. A fighter moving backwards must outscore heavily a fighter moving forward. Because when a fighter is moving backward, they're conceding ground. And if we get two people in the ring that both have that mentality, it's going to be a terrible fight. They're always going to be, basically, they're going to resort to a tag-style contest.
Yeah.
So anyway, Michael Venom Page is an incredible fighter. I cannot take anything away from the man. But he comes from that background of tag karate. So he's very good at touching and running.
Yeah,
but if you get two guys in the ring like that, though, what are you going to have?
Yeah. Tap and go, tap and go, tap and go.
Man, that is going to be boring.
It's going to be boring as all get out.
Yeah.
We used to see a lot of that back in during the, the K1 fights back in the day.
Sure.
They did that tap and go, but then they brought it out a little bit, but every now and then you get the guys who hit move. Move.
I think it's got to be internal. They got to have that drive to fight. That's one of the things about Tyson is he like they said, threw his punches with nefarious or bad intentions.
Oh yeah.
So, you get somebody like Vanderlei Silva, these people that are trying to knock you out. That is a whole different story than a man that gets in there like Duplessis or MVP. They're in there trying to outpoint you. And there's a big difference.
Oh, a huge difference, man.
And it's arguably, maybe it's a lot smarter. Maybe Duplessis and MVP are the geniuses.
Well, I don't know. Well, it's all about dollars and cents. And what brings the audience, right? Everybody wants to see an exciting fight.
Yes.
And I reference this quite a bit now with the CGI, Craig Jones Invitational coming out.
Yes.
It was so exciting to see these, especially with Tolo Brothers, man. That was just exciting to see those guys fight. So that drew you in, but a lot of the guys who were sitting there doing the butt scoot, hey, it's what you do is nothing wrong with you have a plan.
Wow.
But doing that hold and no one's making a move, those are boring. Those don't bring the money.
No. I think we're looking at a bit of a revolution. You brought up the Rotolo Brothers and CJI, the vaulted corners, the vaulted walls And
Yes.
we can go back and I'll give credit to he my biggest fan. I'm not his biggest fan. John Peretti is based.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, John's a big name. He's
Yeah.
kind of he's not known for being a friendly guy, and he's not.
No.
But the man is maybe a genius because he was ahead of his time, and
Yeah.
he created those the vaulted side walls in one of his early tournaments.
Oh, wow.
He
I didn't
did
know
it.
that.
Yeah, he's the one. And man, when I've always just been so frustrated, like I'm a record-breaking wrestling coach in folk style
Yeah.
wrestling, and
Awesome, man.
yeah, I passionate long backstory on that. But long story short, in freestyle international wrestling, sumo, of course, the edge of the mat has this critical scoring criteria. You
Hmm.
cannot touch out, or sumo you lose. In
Right.
freestyle international wrestling, Greco-Roman, if you step out, your opponent gets a point. So
Okay.
there is no room for there's no nebulous criteria. But in
Hmm.
all these other grappling sports, and it's endlessly frustrating to me, these guys can back up off the mat endlessly, and it's up to the referee to like determine their intention and make these
Yeah. Yeah.
calls.
Yep.
Very frustrating. So
Yeah.
CJI, freaking brilliant, solved that problem.
Yeah.
They didn't put a scoring metric on it. You just can't wrestle uphill,
That's it. You get. That's it.
right?
Yeah.
Nuts.
It was brilliant, man. I'm telling you, I was on the edge of my seat most of that tournament, man. I was like, God, this
Me
guy's
too. Me too.
genius, man.
There was a fight, and damn it, I don't remember the name. I wish I knew we were going to be talking about it, or I would have had this ready. I did a meme about it, naturally.
Okay.
That
Okay.
one of these guys goes out there, and he is the butt scootinist, guard pullingist,
Oh, I know exactly who you're talking about.
bottom boy playing, and
Yeah.
the guy, the top guy, just freaking hovered over him. I call it attack helicopter. I tell my guys, I'm like, guys, when you're rolling, try to imagine you're like a Russian attack helicopter, and you're just like just rolling over the top of this guy, and,
Yeah.
and coming up with firing solutions. That's all you're doing, right?
That's it.
So
That's it.
the guy on the bottom, they pull guard and they fish for submissions. That's what they
Hmm.
do.
That's what they
So
do.
how can we stop? I mean, so we got the edge of the mat figured out, vaulted side or scoring metric. That's square. But
Right.
how can we stop this bottom pulling, this bottom play? Because it's killing the sport.
You know what it is, because it makes it not exciting. This is what we were talking about a second ago. It's not exciting. I understand the strategy behind it, but it's not.
Yes,
It doesn't draw the audience. It doesn't
it's like
draw. You know.
MVP and Duplessis. These guys win, but they don't do it in really exciting fashion.
That's right.
So nobody's
Exactly.
really excited to see it. I remember back in the day, I would see epiphanies in my young fighters' eyes, and I mean, I was pulling kids out of poverty and
Yeah.
out of my wrestling program into mixed martial arts, and I tell them, I was guys, if you lose yet are exciting, talk a little smack on the mic or something like that, you'll be offered 3 times the money to fight
Oh,
next time.
absolutely. They'll be hunting
Yes.
for you because they want the butts in the seats,
You
man.
know it. And if you go
Yeah.
in there and win and you're boring, man, they don't want you back.
Yeah. They're like, oh, that's great. You won, but
Hmm.
no one's excited. Everybody's getting
Yeah.
beers and
Here's
getting
your
food while
trophy.
you're sitting there. Yeah.
Here's your trophy. I'll call you. I'll call you. Get out of here. You
Exactly.
know what I'm saying?
Exactly, man. I wish there was something we could do. I think with the grappling tournaments, you gotta have something with, a time limit on the mat where
Dude,
if you're sitting there, you gotta do you
you
got
know what?
15, 30 seconds, 30 seconds to,
I swear to God, we
you
haven't
know.
talked. I mean, tell the truth. We have not talked before this podcast. We were just meeting for the first time
Yeah.
today, and you just nailed. I did a meme about it. Can you believe it?
Oh, did you
So,
really? Oh,
no,
that's awesome.
are you ready for this? No. Yeah, exactly. Like you said, the time criteria, and what better time criteria, dude? All we need is a riding time, right?
Yeah, that's it.
Riding time. That's it.
Yep.
If
Yep.
you're on top, I call it the DSP, dominant striking position.
Okay.
So if an athlete is riding in a dominant striking position, he's winning.
Right. Yeah.
Straight up, straight up. So he's got to get a metric. We've got to score that somehow.
Yeah, it's gotta be.
And
But I think it has to evolve because I think it will.
it
But
should.
think about where the UFC started. When it came in, they had the Gracies come in. All they did was took them down and beat them because no one saw that, right? Everybody's
Yes.
like, what the hell is all this stuff? This is great. And now you look at the UFC, the guys can't just lay on the ground and fight because you got strikers who adapt it to the ground. So we have to have something. I mean, I think it's going to evolve. It has to. It's going
I
to
think
lose.
so.
It's going to lose people. It's going to lose people.
Well, yeah, it will become, all these, we feel like we're inventing stuff this UFC first time. We're
Yeah.
not. This is all just rediscovering like the ancient
Oh
Greco-Roman freaking
yeah.
pancration. I guarantee somewhere in some ancient text there is a scribe saying, "Thou shalt stand up thy competitors," or
Thou
thine
should not
eyes
smut scoot.
be thy board or something that, or they will throw potatoes or
Right.
something. You know what I'm saying? So, and I think that's one of the I argue oftentimes that like freestyle wrestling is exceptionally good for mixed martial arts
Yeah.
because it mimics the same beats. Because
Yeah.
the referee will declare a stalemate and stand you up.
Yeah, they have to.
Because once again, and God, I've seen some UFCs, and it's like the guy gets taken down. It's like 30 seconds into the grappling exchange, and they're already booing,
Yeah, they're already booing. They're booing big time, man.
which
It's
is
like,
terrible.
yeah.
It's disrespectful. You got the old Japanese contest with like the early Pride and stuff. They're
Oh, man, yeah.
dead quiet down there, and then there was like a reversal. Everybody claps. They really respected the ground game. But
Yeah.
American audiences, frankly, where the big money is, the merch audiences and
Yep.
stuff, they do not support the protracted ground struggle.
But it's for the guys who's doing it for the self-defense of martial arts, it's a great thing to
Yes,
do, a great thing to know. We
critical.
understand that. Just like anything, it's entertainment. You have to draw the eyes to get the checks. Like everyone's complaining, I won't say everybody, but the women are complaining about the WNBA. We don't make enough money. We want all this
Mm,
other money. Well, guess what? I'm not saying you're born or not. I'm just saying, but bottom line,
you
you
are
don't have the eyeballs on them, right?
totally,
Yeah,
totally. And what a great, well, that's a really great analogy. You got the women's sports hot topic right now.
yeah.
I have strong opinions
I'm with you.
because, well, I'm coaching high school wrestling back in the day. One of the records I broke was female participation on my team.
Right.
And so many politics. You got transgender politics,
Yep.
but the fact is, man, plain and simple, it is show business.
That's it. That's
Sports are
it, man.
it's show business.
Yes,
It
it
is.
really is. Think about it like you were doing the high school wrestling. Even at that level,
Yes,
it's the show business.
it
Because
is.
guess what? All the big schools with all the tough guys and everybody's winning. Guess what? Everybody's talking about that school.
Big
Everybody's
time.
talking about that kid, man. Yeah, it's money, man. Shoot, money, and these women want all the money. Hey, if you can draw the
Mm-mm-mm.
eyes, do your thing.
Boy,
But
I always am extra suspicious of some of these, equality arguments and stuff like that. It just coming from the wrestling coaching background, you have to understand how Title IX, equal spending
yeah,
sports programs affected wrestling. It was
but
one
it's
of the
but it's horrible.
it was dangerous. It was bad. And
Yeah,
boy, it's like, oh, I you don't want to make it purely about popularity, and then everybody gets rid of the chess clubs. Nobody cares.
yeah.
And what do we? Here's another major factor too. Let's say you're a 5'2" 115-pound male. What are you going to do besides wrestle?
Right. That's it. There's
You
nothing
know,
else. You're
what's
not
your
playing football. You're not playing basketball.
one of the guys that got me into coaching wrestling was a visually impaired coach. He was the head coach for the Kentucky School for the Blind,
Oh
and
wow.
he was attending my mixed martial arts club. And one day he came to me and said, "Hey, listen, Gavin, you wrestled for Athens High School." I said, "Yeah." He said, "Listen, they're going to have to disband that program because they can't find a competent coach." And
Wow.
I said, "Whoa, hey, wait a minute!" And I stepped in and I started studying under the current coach, who was the interested dad, but was a talented wrestler himself. But anyway, yeah, that's how I got into that job. Was basically the local wrestling coach said, if you don't do it, they're going to kill the program.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Wow. So they were going right to the jugular, man.
Well,
Holy
it was
cow.
nuts too, man. Because let me tell you, I got some controversy on that because the athletic director there hated wrestling. He was notoriously hated wrestling, wanted
Yeah.
to get rid of it. And I came in, and all of a sudden, I took this commonly last place team to the middle of the pack, and I started breaking records. And man, it was just like I was
Wow.
super proud of myself. But
Well, yeah.
the athletic director secretly wanted to get rid, not so secretly, wanted to get rid of the program. And
Why?
well, that's a good question. And nobody really knows for sure. Took those secrets to the grave with him. But check this out. So I got promoted at my day job, and I couldn't coach high school wrestling anymore. Just didn't have the time. I was
Mhm.
required to be at my day job through those hours.
Right.
So I reluctantly left, and I gave my program to this assistant coach of mine, and everything seemed to be going okay. Next thing you know, they send our mats out for repair, and they lent them to a tournament, did a little damage to them. So they sent them out for repair. The next thing you know, they're saying, "Hey, I guess we're going to cancel the season. We can't get the mats back in time." So listen to
What?
that. Check this out. Check this out. Though. I go out and I buy mats with my own money.
Wow.
Okay, I bought used wrestling mats and I lent them to the school. They took those mats and seized them and said under a clause in the contract and said anything left in the school could be seized by the school after 24 hours. And I left them there for months, so the kids could
Yeah.
practice. They seized my mats, fired the coach, and locked them away. Wouldn't give them back to me. Locked them away in a
What?
base. Yeah, locked them away in a basement where they rotted thousands of dollars worth of wrestling mats.
Wow.
Yeah,
Holy cow.
telling you, man, it's insane.
That's insane, dude. You didn't get lawyers or anything like that? Well, it probably
Well,
cost you more than what it, but
yeah,
still.
you know what, man? I'm a high school wrestling coach, and I was already in another battle, honestly, Tony. So
Yeah.
I worked for the city of Louisville at the time as a zookeeper of all things, and
Okay.
I was pretty well known. I was the manager of the children's area, and I was on TV with their daily circular and all this and that. But I was also the head guy at the Louisville MMA Fight Club, right? So
Okay.
you can imagine that dichotomy, right? We got
Right.
I'm on public access TV, playing with the goats with the kids from 2 to 4, and then from 7 to 8, I'm in there running the Fight Club, and we had our own TV show. And so
Wow.
the city managers, they got nervous and they didn't want me doing that. So I got,
Really?
oh no, they basically told me, they said, hey, listen, Gavin, your involvement with mixed martial arts is going to affect your career here. You know what I'm saying? And well,
What?
here's the thing: the facility we were using to run the Fight Club was a city-owned facility. The Douglas Community Center was a city-run um, community center. Your tax
Yeah.
dollars at work. And so, even though we were there for decades and never had a police call or a serious injury or a for real street fight or anything like that, they were always trying to get us out of there because, of course, liability, right?
Right.
Yeah. So I was fighting.
Wow.
So I'm fighting like a lion to keep people
Right.
on the mat, dude. I feel like the whole world is trying to stop grappling. I'm like, Jesus,
Oh
what
man.
is with these people, right?
That's insane, man.
Mhm.
Wow. And you finally just got did you end up leaving that program at all or just you started
Well,
somewhere else?
so long story short, yeah, basically, I was no doubt I was pissed off and sick and tired of city of Louisville
Yeah.
through all those experiences. But I grew up in Hawaii, South Africa, Brazil. I was used to the hot weather and surfing, and I hated Kentucky anyway. It was my father's hometown, so I was like, dude, screw this, I'm moving to Miami, and that's what I did. And
Oh man.
yeah, I quit my job at the city. I sold all my gear, sold my house, left my MMA club in my team manager's hands, which was highly competent guy. This guy was just freaking miracle worker, and he took that club and blew it up without. He did so much; it's amazing. I got to recognize Jason Y as the man
Uh,
who took the Louisville MMA Fight Club and turned it into the Louisville Fight Team. And man, he had guys fighting. We had guys in Bellator. We were up there for a minute, man.
man.
Yeah, we were up there for a minute.
That's cool, man. Well, let's back up a little bit.
Yeah, yeah, of
Let's see
course.
what everybody because you're doing all these great things. How did your martial arts career start? Tell me how you started. What
Yeah,
was it like I always say? Was it the bully that beat you up one day and I
right.
gotta learn to fight?
Exactly. Yeah, that's a great point. You got to start from the beginning and tell the OG the truth, the beginning of it all. So
Yeah.
obviously, we already discussed. I was a Caucasian in rural Hawaii.
Yeah.
Okay, so that means violence, plain and
Yep.
simple. At the schools and everything like that, it was like they were tough, rough Samoan kids. There's like so in Hawaii, that's the Big Island. Hilo is on the Big Island, so you've got a different group of characters. Like if you get over to Oahu, you'll actually see Americans of a lot of different sorts. But on the main island, of course, we're all Americans there, but legally,
Yeah.
but they're mostly Samoan. The underclass, so to speak, are Samoans. They're like the proletariat, and then
Yeah.
like the ruling class, the educated, the wealthy, the powerful, mostly Japanese. So it was kind of interesting. The Caucasians were kind of a minority. Most of them were like hippies and stuff like that. And
Mhm.
so anyway, I'm going to Hawaiian public school system, and I'm fighting every day, right?
Oh
And
man.
I'm going to the beach. I go bodyboarding, and if you lose your board, some Samoan kid's going to grab it, and you might have to frickin' do a couple Valley to go rounds to get it back.
Oh man.
And remember,
Oh
boogie boards were expensive back in the day, so
yeah.
so yeah, it was. So I started. I fell in love with it though. And let's be honest, they called you racial epithets. They
Oh yeah.
they were pretty violent, but they weren't like going to stab you or murder you or sneak up at night. No one's shooting each other. So it was
Right.
and it was kid stuff. I was like 12 years old. I wasn't even 15. So it's like, I just fell in love with the martial arts. And this guy got me involved in judo and sumo, of all
Okay.
things. I
Yeah.
tried my hand at kendo and got the living hell beat out of me.
Kendo is a brutal art, man.
Listen, I gotta tell, I am a short, strong. I'm kind of a short, strong guy. Man, these Japanese kids were like a foot taller than me
That
and 10
reach.
times faster, and they
Yep.
were lighting me up with that freaking shine eye. I was like this. I had no idea how much I hurt.
I know. I did it for 4 years, man.
Did you?
I know
You
it.
did kendo?
Kendo for 4 years, man. It's
Where?
intense, man.
Where
It's
did you do
Iowa.
that?
I was out there
Iowa.
in Iowa. Yep,
You
at
got to be
Ames,
kidding.
Iowa,
Man, you never. I like police kendo where you hit them in the legs and stuff too,
and
man.
be done with it. Right?
Yes. Yeah, that's crazy, man. Most people, you say kendo, they gotta Google that,
You're
man.
like, "Kendo, what's that?" You know?
Wow.
And
You got a pretty interesting martial arts background yourself.
yeah, I've done some things. I've been in martial arts since 8 years old, the whole game, I've done a whole bunch of things, That's why I like to talk to, martial artists out there, man. That's why because it's fascinating everybody's story. You know what I
Yes.
mean? To see where
Yes.
everybody began, where they came from, how they began. But
Yes.
you over in Hawaii getting jacked by all
Yeah. The
you
Hawaii, man, we used to play marbles out there in Kiao Middle, right? And the
Yeah,
kids like you go buy a bag of marbles at the Wiki
yeah.
Wiki Mart, and that bag of marbles like $3-4. So to a Samoan kid, that's like a week's worth of money. That's
Really? Oh, man.
that's big money. So they would get out. These kids were like gangsters in Gary, Indiana, playing pool. You're out there playing marbles with them, and if you won the marble game, you got the marbles. Let me tell you what, buddy, ooh, that was crazy. You got
Really?
Oh, they got down because here I am surrounded by like 11 Samoan kids. All the other Caucasians were smart enough not to screw with that. They were all hiding in the corner, looking at me like I was crazy. There were no the Japanese. They were like, they ain't out there either. It's just me and the Samoans. But
Oh, man.
after a while, you get to be friends with the guys. You get to enculturate. You're part of the local society. People know who you are,
Oh,
and
yeah.
the fact is that a lot of people go over to Hawaii. They don't integrate with the Samoan culture, and they
Okay.
they live in their own little bubbles and stuff like that. And I can understand why that offends people, right? And
Yeah, absolutely.
it's the same old thing about colonialism. I grew up in apartheid era South Africa, right? So
Oh, wow.
I saw a lot of that over there.
Man, I
Really
bet you
great,
did. I
great
bet you did.
boxers. Yeah, great boxers. A lot of great public sports facility. I mean, apartheid era South Africa was very organized, very well run, very safe,
Mhm.
and up and coming. Man, those people had jobs and money, and people who wouldn't. Unfortunately, now the country's in real trouble.
Yeah, it's in real trouble. You see all the stuff going on. It's like, my gosh. But you know what? You're absolutely right about their boxing skills because I
Oh,
see a lot of video of those guys, and they are training with just nothing. And these guys, their
dude,
movements, head movements, their angles.
I don't
Holy
remember if
cow!
Ika Beabushi was. I think he was African, but I don't remember he was from South Africa. But we had some really. I mean, over the years, I forgot who he was. Big white guy. I think it was Franz Botha,
Mhm.
or I forgot who he was. He was beating Mike Tyson. He had beat Mike
Oh, the
Tyson.
one guy. Yes, I know what you're
And
talking about. Yeah,
here I am, and I'll straight up tell you, I'm a white guy from South Africa. I'm rooting for the white guy from South Africa, right? And
right,
I'm over
right.
here. This Caucasian is just about to beat Mike Tyson. I'm about to jump out of my seat. I'm like, I cannot believe this. And for the record, I hate Tyson Fury, so I can't root for him. So for
Right.
us white boxing fans, it's slim, bro. It's slim. I ain't got to tell you about Jerry Cooney and shit. But
Oh yeah, right.
I did a meme. I had never dropped it though, and I said, "Man, Tyson Fury is 2020 Jerry Cooney. That's what the man is.
Oh man,
That's what he is." But anyway, this man, I think it was Franz Botha, and he had him all the way up. Man, it's gonna kill me. I'm gonna mess this up. I'm gonna look it up.
that's
Look
all
this
right.
up. Look this up. He had Mike Tyson 7 rounds beat like 6-0, and man, Mike cleaned his clock.
Yeah,
I
Mike was
remember that
putting the heat.
knockout. He put him out. The OUT.
He earned that knockout, though. He did, man.
Man, what was his name?
Wow.
Mike Tyson. I don't know. I got to look it up. Yeah,
That's all right.
yeah. But yeah, incredible run. So anyway, so uh, after Hawaii, we wound up
You
in
did the judo and some sambo in Hawaii.
sumo,
Sumo.
sumo.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay. So
sumo. Yeah, straight
man,
up
you did
sumo.
sumo. Oh man,
Sumo. Yeah, no, it was
that's
huge.
cool.
Sumo was huge in Hawaii back in the day. Tama Miyama, Jesse, man, I forgot. I can't say the Hawaiian last name. So there are the first I'm pretty sure the very first foreign-born Yokozuna, which is the highest level of sumo, was Jesse from Tamamiyama from Hawaii. And so when he won the Yokozuna, man, it was just like exploded. Sumo
Wow.
was huge in the islands. And man, I'll tell you what, that hurts. That hurts a lot. Sumo is incredibly painful. People don't realize.
Really?
Well, it ain't just pushing and slapping. Those guys, they open hand hit.
I saw that, like, they smacking hard and
Yes, yeah,
everything
and
else.
it's like a gentleman's agreement in sumo that they don't strike with the palm. It's a pushing strike, but you can see every now and then they lose their shit, and they get out
Man,
there and they lose their their posture, and they start for real trying to whack each other. And man,
wow.
I was amazed at the pain of sumo.
Oh man, it's a guy. I don't know. I've seen videos. That's all I've seen is like a YouTube video. A few this guy. He's a small guy.
Oh
He's
yeah,
built. He's winning all the sumo wrestling. He's like 100, 200 pounds smaller than these guys.
there's been a list of these guys. Like there was a guy named Enho that was famous for it. There was two or three other guys, real small Japanese dudes. One dude, even they rumored he like injected silicone
What?
into his scalp so that he could make the minimum height requirement. He was so short he couldn't quite make it.
What?
Yeah,
Oh,
there's some Bulgarian now that's a lot smaller, but that is the beauty of sumo when there's no weight class and you see a smaller man get out there with a freaking giant and
oh,
win. It's just nuts.
yeah, that stuff looks. I'm like, how is he
I
doing that? It's all leverage, but geez,
it
Louise.
Yeah, buddy, and that grip on the mawashi and the scientific use of it. Now, the Mongolians, it's kind of interesting that there's a lot of pressure from Mongolians coming into sumo now, and
Really?
yeah, a guy named Asashoryu and a guy named Hakuo are two of the most accomplished Chinese, basically, in
Okay.
sumo. And man, they are whooping some butt. And a lot of people surmise that Japanese genetics just aren't what they used to be. So, and
Really?
I concur because if you look at sumo history, and I mean, I'm a sumo junkie, I can tell you, you look at sumo, if you go back to the 50s, they weren't even fat. The dudes were like,
Really?
no, they had their
Oh, man.
stomachs were hard. They were big, but they weren't fat. And then you
Yeah.
get progressively, they turn into these giant like NFL monsters, and now they're kind of fat slobs. And
Yeah.
you see double chins and big fat necks and that back roll behind the head and
Oh man.
all those indications of real fatness. And
Yeah.
because the big difference between visceral and fat, the fat, whether or not it's in your body or it's just between your
Yeah.
skin.
Your skin
Yeah,
and your
there's a
mother. Yeah.
huge difference. And I know this is interesting about nutrition. A lot of people believe that it is huge, like BMI and stuff. It's so bad. Like these
Yeah.
Japanese guys, these sumo wrestlers, traditionally, their fat was between the skin and the muscle tissue. It was not visceral, what they call
Right.
visceral fat, which is
Right.
the much more dangerous type of fat.
Right. Yeah.
So these guys might be fat, but they got incredible endurance. I mean, look at Fedor and some of these great MMA
Oh
fighters,
man. I bet you
right?
they're considered obese. I guarantee you about the
You
BMI. Yeah.
But in BMI, Arnold
Yeah.
Schwarzenegger, when he won Mr. Olympia, rates as morbidly obese.
That's
Now,
crazy.
I did a meme about it, right? So
Yeah.
there's this guy, best one ever, guy from the UK named Andrew Stumpy Rainus. This guy is 5 foot tall, 330 something pounds, solid muscle, like
Wow.
8% body fat, strongman competitor, right?
Yeah.
I mean, put him on the BMI chart. Look where he goes.
Oh, absolutely.
Are
He's
you kidding me?
really
Way
obese.
out there, way
Yeah.
out there, fatter than
Yeah.
hell. It's just anytime I hear a doctor say BMI, I'll run out the back door. It's just
It's
people
like you
crazy.
don't know what y'all talking about.
Yeah.
Exactly.
No, it's terrible.
Oh man. So you did judo and sumo.
Yeah,
Now
judo and
you
judo,
sumo.
sumo,
Yeah.
kendo, and some traditional kickboxing and stuff like that in
Okay.
Hawaii.
Yep.
But I got to when we finally left Hawaii in the mid '80s, late '80s, and I wound up in my father's hometown of Louisville, Kentucky.
Okay.
And
Yeah.
that is when I got exposed. And honestly, Hawaii is a small place. They're not that organized compared. Louisville's America's 16th largest city. So
Okay.
it's 5 hours from Detroit. Really, it's up there.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was big town, and man, it was it was like the karate or the ninja craze was
Yeah.
huge. I had never seen point karate either.
Oh, really? That's entertaining.
I never got into I got into point karate and
Yeah.
I really liked it a little bit. And once again, I was a shorter, stronger guy.
Yeah.
So we're not built too well for point karate. But
Exactly. Move and run, hit and run. No.
long, lean, springy, and
Oh
fast.
yeah.
That's
Oh
what's fun.
yeah.
But it's. I'm kind of surprised it didn't make it further in the martial arts world. Point
Yeah.
karate could be a lot of fun.
Well, it's fun for athletes, I think, who know the art. You know what I mean? Who understands who's a true martial artist, just like
Mm,
we're talking about Brazilian jiu-jitsu. But for the fans, that's who make them serious. The fans is where it's at. If it's
yeah,
not brawling and point fighting is good, but that's just back in the old days. We used to do point fighting sometimes, but the open terms was much more better. Much better because you could take a sacrifice shot to get in
yes.
and do all the other stuff you got to do.
Yeah, for a minute there, I remember some tournaments they'd allow you to even do a throw and a punch on the ground and stuff
Yep.
like that.
Yep.
And I
Those are
was like,
true open ones. Yep.
dude, I'm saying this has got potential. And then
Oh
they
yeah.
started to say, hey, wait a minute, you can't hop up in the air and bop them on top of the head with that
Yeah,
little bop. That bop ain't gonna fly anymore, boys.
right.
I
That
was
was
like,
their point.
okay, now this could be for real. But honestly, I fell in love with kickboxing. We had a really great kickboxing gym over in New Albany, Indiana, called Terry Middleton's, and he
Okay.
had a couple major boxers come through there. Jimmy Ellis would have been the most notable. I was in the same ring. Of course, I was too young, so I never got to actually.
We'll say Jimmy
See.
Ellis is an older guy now.
Yeah.
He's
Oh, Jimmy
okay.
Ellis
Yeah.
he was the best boxer they ever produced. But
Yeah.
I was in the ring where Muhammad Ali had been, but I never had a chance to actually spar with the man because we're from different generations.
Oh
But
yeah.
but but there were some of the same people around that remembered Ali. And I remember stepping in the ring and it was like hollow ground. I was like, Muhammad Ali sweat on this ground. I was like, wow, this is Louisville, Kentucky for you. But anyway, yeah, Terry Middleton's kickboxing. They had some really great fighters over there, including the WK Super Heavyweight World Champion William Abdul Jarvis.
Yeah.
And we became sparring partners and friends. And he started coming to my MMA club years later.
Oh,
And
that's
boy,
cool.
that man, oof, that was when you get in the ring with a pro. That's when I was like, okay, this is my measurement of how good I am at kickboxing, and
Right.
I ain't that great because let me tell you, William Jarvis beat the shit out of me. That man he's hit me with head kicks and combinations, and I mean, he never knocked me down, but I think he was being generous.
he was pulling me. So I'm not gonna kill this kid.
He's a good man. He's a father by then and stuff. It was a
Yeah.
crazy story. So William Jarvis was he was a big, strong black dude, frickin' 5% body fat, ripped
Oh
he
man.
looked like a He-Man character. He
Oh
had
man.
he had been run over by a jeep in Okinawa, Japan, when he was there in the military, and his pelvis was crushed, and he
Dang.
he had to come back from a crushed pelvis to win the WK Super Heavyweight World Kickboxing Champion.
What?
Dude, what a story, right? And
Man.
just a couple years ago, he died of leukemia, some blood cancer, and man, I was just like, damn, that was when you see an Adonis, a man that was like literally a living god to you. It
Yeah.
was like a paternal figure for me too. And now he's gone. It's just God, it's killing me, bro. And
Man.
two of my old judo coaches from Louisville both died not that long ago. So
Oh man.
I'm looking at the clock, and I'm like, dude, whoa.
Is it my turn? No.
I'm telling you, don't screw around. You don't screw around. I ain't.
But you
I want to get a super bike. I want to have fun, but I'm like, dude, maybe not.
he said maybe not. But a lot of times now everything's about nutrition, trying to take care of yourself. What's in our food? I don't want to get on that
Yes.
tangent.
Oh, yes.
We're designed to live 120 years and we're dying off at 40, 50, and 60 years old.
When
It's
you look at
crazy, man.
I really believe heavily in the Japanese and the Asian diet.
Yeah.
The American diet is just god
Oh,
awful.
it's crap, man.
It's
Our healthy
amazing.
food is not healthy. Everything is crap. Chemicals and everything.
Salt and sugar through the roof. The
Oh my
dyes, the
gosh.
chemicals, like
Yeah.
the morning breakfast cereal. What they're allowed to feed the kids in this country is
It's
shocking.
insane. Insane,
I can't
brother.
believe it. I dated a
Man.
social worker for a while, and I got a little too much knowledge on that. It's just like,
He was like, you don't want to see no more.
yeah, ketchup is not a vegetable at school board. You know what I'm saying?
Right?
No,
But
not gonna fly.
that pyramid that they created, that
Mm,
old pyramid did not work. And
no,
they're still talking about that pyramid in education system. It's like,
it's like the BMI.
look at our people. Yeah, just like the BMI. Exactly.
How does this
Those
crap
numbers don't
get
count.
entrenched? It's like
No.
the healthy fats are Well, worse now. Then you get all these synthetic butters and
Oh yeah.
what
Oh yeah.
margarine and junk like that. It's just, man, do not eat
Well,
that stuff.
because we're easily led. What do we want? Something convenient. We're a convenient society. I
Well,
want it convenient. You tell me it's good. You have some authority behind you. Tell me it's good. I'm going to eat it. I'm not going to do my own research. I'm just going to eat it.
I think
You
they
know,
straight up get addicted to it for
that's
sure.
what it is. Yeah, because it's all the sugar. Sugar's in everything. Ketchup, like you were just saying.
Salt.
Ketchup, salt, all
Yeah.
that stuff, man.
I mean, that
Ugh.
McDonald's clown, you cannot take it. You cannot take it away from those people are freaking geniuses.
Man, they know what they're doing, man. It's
They're
all about
geniuses.
addiction, and they got us all giving them to our little kids and the little
Well,
Happy Meals and all that kind of crap.
I can tell you back in the day when it was like 1985 or something when they got the first McDonald's in Hilo, Hawaii, and it was nuts, dude. It was like it was in a double-story building downtown, and the upper floor was this awesome arcade with all these Asian video games,
Oh
and the
man.
lower floor was McDonald's. And so you would go surfing, and then you would hit McDonald's, and the way back and get a milkshake or cheeseburger, and it's like ice cold from the air conditioning. So that
Oh man.
and I'm looking at all these Samoan kids, and I'm like, wow, it's like the Eskimos with the sugar, and
Yeah.
it's oh man, the Samoan kids they were so hooked on those McNuggets. And I was like, wow, this is nuts, man.
Well, you think the food back then, it's in the 80s and stuff for us. It wasn't, and I'm sure it was getting bad, but it's nowhere near as bad as the stuff is today.
I
I
can
mean, all
only
the
imagine.
chemicals, man. Because I had a candy bar. I used to love Snickers when I was a kid. That was
Yeah,
the
me too.
candy bar for me.
Yeah,
Yeah. And it was so good. And I had one, I can't remember when, it was a little while back. And it tastes like chemicals, man. I was like, I couldn't even finish the thing. I was like, this is gross. And I
weird.
don't know if it's just because I'm older.
Yeah, yeah. Well, you're definitely change. Your taste definitely changes as you age.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's for sure. The
Exactly.
amount of sweetness you can tolerate as a child definitely changes as you age, and I think also like and of course we get more health conscious. We got to try to
Yeah.
put that on the back of the but seriously, what? Yeah, there is definitely a thing. I think like zoologically, like I work with a lot of animals and a lot of natural science and stuff like that.
Oh, cool.
And we see a lot of like primates. So let's just take a chimpanzee for instance, and we're a lot like chimps. In youth, a chimpanzee is much more predatory and much more carnivorous.
Yeah.
As it ages, it becomes more herbivorous.
Hmm.
So we do see this as a natural phenomenon in nature, and as the teeth wear and stuff like that, what they can consume dietarily speaking changes. So
Okay.
there's probably some smart evolutionary biology associated with that.
Well, but let me ask you this though. How does that affect, let's say the eating protein and meat and all
Yeah,
that kind of stuff? I wonder how I'm just a rhetorical here. How
sure.
is that going to affect their body as does the body change where it only
Yeah,
absorbs the nutrients from the veggies because they
yeah.
can't do the meat and all that stuff?
Curious. Yeah. Well, I
Yeah.
think that so in youth, you got these major growth cycle, and
Hmm.
you need that meat, you need that heavy protein, the highly digestible protein.
Yeah.
And we know now through some of the more hardcore science that these chimpanzees and some of these primates were cannibalistic and
Yeah.
were
Oh yeah.
highly cannibalistic.
Yeah.
Eating monkeys and eating each other as is normal.
Yeah.
Hey, listen, a lot of people were too, man. You get the
Yeah.
Native Americans, the
Oh man.
all through Africa. There's
Yeah.
the Sentinel Islands. Not that long ago, they ate that Asian missionary.
Oh yeah. He went over there to be friendly, and they said
They
you
ate,
taste great.
they ate his ass. I heard they were hungry an hour later, though. Okay, I'm sorry.
Wait a minute. Let me
I'm
give a
sorry.
bigger ping.
Oh God,
That drum
I
roll
can't
there.
believe that's terrible. I
Yeah,
can't
but
even
it's
take
good
that in.
though. That's
Yeah,
so
but
funny.
I'm asking this guy. I'm like looking at these guys in Sentinel Island. I'm like, dude, one look at these motherfuckers, and it's like, dude, they're gonna eat
Man,
you.
they're
One
gonna
look,
eat you, man.
they
It's like, man,
look like. I'll give them credit too, because we got a society right now that's a little too nervous to tell it like it is, like with
yeah,
African
yeah,
slavery and stuff like that.
yep,
We
yep.
won't tell the nitty gritty. It's
Nope.
it's
We
right.
sugarcoat and brush it over.
They just don't want to tell the truth. Hey, tell the truth. You know what I'm saying? Germans did terrible crap, and so did the
Yep.
Dahomey. But
Exactly. Yep.
we all got blood and skeleton in the closet. But
Yep.
I'll give credit where credit is due. The movie King Kong, in the
Okay.
beginning of Peter Jackson's King Kong,
Yeah.
man, those Indians were terrifying. You remember they were slaying those people, man. That
Oh,
was
left and right, dude. Yeah, I know
super
what you're talking about.
violent.
Yeah.
And then you had that Mel Gibson movie not too long ago, Apocalypto. right?
Oh, yeah, I just saw that
Man,
come across. I was looking for something
Brave,
to watch the other day, yeah.
man,
Watch that was
Brave,
good.
that was insane. That depiction was so hardcore. And then also The Revenant with Leonardo DiCaprio.
Now
Dude,
that was a great movie, dude,
I
too. Oh
loved it.
my
Listen, don't
gosh.
get me started, man.
It was
We can
great.
talk movies all night. Leonardo,
Man.
that movie, and the CG on the bear. Some people kind of give him a little trouble with CG on the bear. I still think, as someone with a zoological background, that bear
Yeah.
attack was legit. That looked
It
so
was a
real.
great, great, great scene. It looked realistic.
The way it was
There
narrow,
was
or the way it went down, yes,
man, I was like, "Holy cow, how does he come back from that?" I'm like,
bro.
"Okay."
And then yeah, and that's kind of a true story. It's not 100%, but it's like many things based on a true story.
Yeah,
But anyway, long story short, I was really, really, really happy to see that depiction of the Native Americans. But to
yeah,
go back to the original topic was cannibalism, and I think once again, as these primates, and probably a good lesson we can take, is through our primary growth phase when we're packing on muscle and we got to be competitive, we got to go to war to protect the tribe and stuff like that. Because back in the day, the thing is they would come over the hill and take your women and your gold, and
exactly, yep.
that was how people lived. It was
That's
like
how it was. Kill
except
everybody and take the women and the gold. Yep.
yeah, they and look at these old ancient burial grounds like Talheim and these other places really well studied. They look in these burial mounds. They don't find any 17-year-old girl skeletons.
No,
Nope.
no,
No,
none.
those ladies are the shadow. That's
Yep.
the money right there, boy. So
That's
anyway,
crazy.
you got to eat the meat. You got to do the high protein. You got to blast that during youth. That's what the body's designed to do. You got the good teeth. You can tear the sinew off the bone. And as you age, it's likely that nature intends us to become more herbivorous. And we got to carry less muscle and
Yeah,
less fat as we age for longevity.
true.
Because you
Yeah,
see, the sumo wrestlers, when those guys go off their diets, they drop weight like nobody's business. It's nuts.
really.
Some of them get down, they look normal. They look like a normal man now.
Are you serious?
Oh
Wow.
no, it's nuts. It's nuts. It's really
Oh
amazing.
man, what's their diet like though?
It's
To
really
be
interesting. So the sumo wrestler, there's it's definitely carb loading like you wouldn't believe. They eat a
yeah.
phenomenal amount of rice. They drink a fair amount of beer.
Wow,
Interesting associate. So they eat a lot of rice, a lot of beer, and then sleep.
wow.
That is how they train super hard, and they pound the rice and beer right before they sleep for a couple hours. And we know from science now the sleep is the reparative cycle, right?
Right,
I used
right.
to tell my high school wrestlers, I was like, how many hours of sleep you getting, guys? And remember, you don't get your gains when you work out on the mat. You get your gains when you're sleeping. That's when your
When
body
you're
packs on.
resting, yeah,
Exactly.
yeah.
And so the sumo wrestler, sumo diet also really high in seafood and root vegetable, mushrooms, and it's very, very much steam. A lot of steaming and boiling.
Okay,
So it's not,
okay.
it ain't the most flavorful stuff in the world, but it's designed for exactly what you intend. They're putting on a lot of weight on somebody in a
Yeah.
clean and healthy way.
Yeah, that's gonna say in a clean and healthy way. Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely right, man. Because and they don't look. Most of them don't look sloppy. You know what I mean?
I
They
think
just
if you look back, there's a couple good sumo channels that have contests going way back to the 30s, all up to modern day. And it's curious if you look at the eras, you will see the physique of them change over time.
okay,
Yeah, really interesting stuff.
man. I just watch. Yeah, I think all that kind of because I believe the body is so unique.
Yeah,
The body can repair itself if you give it the right nutrients and give it the time it needs. Because I heard somebody was talking about this. You get out of shape. Let's say if you get out of shape, you get obese. It took you, I don't know, 20 years to get where you are today. But if you change everything, your body's smart enough, you can be in great shape within 9 months,
oh
in
sure.
like immaculate shape that you don't even recognize yourself.
Oh yeah,
Because
if you really dedicate yourself, it's amazing. I had to lose. Oh, I was offered. So I had this fight with a guy named Gene Glick, and he was he ran the Casian fight team out of Tennessee, and
mm,
he was man really really well respected instructor, big BJJ gym and stuff. And I had a fight with him at a hook and shoot tournament, and he got my arm pretty straight, and I panicked a little bit, made a little too much noise. The referee stopped the fight.
yep, you start.
God, I
Yep,
was
made
upset.
some
I
noise.
walked out of there with my head hung low.
Yeah.
And man, I'm looking at a fight list years later, and I see Gene's name. He was the only unavenged loss I had on my MMA record. And
Okay.
I was like, oh, Gene, holy crap! Now I got to fight Gene. And they were like, yeah, okay, yeah, but here's the problem, Gavin. You walk around 300 pounds. Gene has hurt his back years ago. He is down like 205. So he
Wow.
said, you can have the fight, but you got to cut 95 pounds.
Holy cow.
And I was like, I can do it. And I did it in like, I don't remember how long I had. I think I had like 4 months or something, maybe 4.5 months.
Man.
So I cut 95 pounds in like under 6 months.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Was just a diet and exercise,
Yeah,
or because
dude,
you had to you had your
yeah.
muscle too?
Yeah, I had to lose a lot of muscle too. Yeah, like,
Yeah.
uh, so basically, I knew what I had to do as a wrestling coach,
Yeah.
and
Oh
I
yeah. Oh yeah.
dedicated myself to it. And I'd get up in the morning and I would eat chicken breast or dark meat chicken, just a little bit
Mhm.
of protein, and I drink a cup of coffee.
Okay.
Maybe I would replace the meat with a high quality protein supplement, and then I would again eat another high quality protein somewhere about 3 4 hours later, and drink a little more coffee. The coffee made a big difference because the coffee would kind of supplement, like, keep you full, right?
Okay.
And every now and then I'd be like, I'm not going to eat anything. I'll just drink a cup of coffee, right? And
Right.
then I would eat early. I think the biggest mistake we make for gaining weight, and the sumo people got to figure it out because they're trying to gain weight, do the
Yeah.
exact opposite. Do not eat within 4 hours of going to sleep.
Yes. I
You,
heard that before. Yeah.
and
Yeah.
I do that all the time, man. I would drink beer all night. I'll eat a bunch of spicy ribs and I'll go right to sleep.
Go right
You
to
know, yeah,
bed. Yeah.
dude. Yeah,
Damn.
well, that's why I got to fight like a lion to stay below 25. If I make 25% body fat on my scale, I'm happy.
You're a happy guy from that
Hmm.
point. I
Oh,
feel you.
25 is my goal these days.
Oh
Yeah. Oh
man.
yeah. Right after Thanksgiving, I'm pushing 30, 33. I'm like, yeah,
Easily. Easily.
easily. I'm pleasantly plump. I like being fat. I don't mind. I'm good. I got my money. I got my women. I'm not.
You
I,
good.
I ain't trying to I ain't trying to get a grinder date. You know what I'm saying? So they
Oh my God.
the six pack, that 6 pack abs. I also argue that the low body fat is bad for your performance. And
Okay.
we see these guys getting in the ring at super low body fat,
Yeah.
and what your body goes into a stress mode, right? Your body says when you get super low in body fat, we see bodybuilders drop it over dead. You know what I'm saying? Because now they're taking diuretics, they're taking
You're
steroids.
taking a lot of stuff, man.
Yeah,
Oof.
their liver looks like a horse's. You know, it's nuts.
Oh yeah.
So basically, yeah, they cut these guys open. The stories you hear about the tumors on the liver and the kidneys and all the filter organs, and
Wow.
the heart is twice the size. Look at Kimbo Slice. The guy looked like a freaking Adonis, right?
Yeah.
But man, dropping. Of course, he probably might have been tooting a little bit. You never know. I
Yeah.
guarantee he got some uppers and stuff going on in Miami. I know that Miami scene, man.
Man, Miami, boy. I went
Boy,
there, was
yeah,
it a year and a half ago?
yeah. You,
Woo.
a
Miami,
lot of
Miami,
ways,
Miami.
a lot of ways to get yourself in trouble.
I
But
know.
yeah, anyway, the I believe 100% that the optimal body fat for combat athletics is 20% or 25, maybe up to 30%.
Really?
Because when you cut below that, your body goes into stress mode. It goes into survival mode, and it will start burning your fat, your muscle fiber. It'll try to save your fat because it's desperate for fat. It's worried about the fat, and it
Right.
wants to lower your body's metabolic rate. So it wants to burn body muscle, not
Okay.
because if
Okay.
you lower your muscle mass, you lower your metabolic rate. And
Yeah.
Arnold Schwarzenegger burns more playing chess than a skinny guy does, playing racquetball because
Right.
he's just so much more muscular every move he makes,
Right.
right?
Right.
So
Right.
I believe wholeheartedly we got guys like Fedor that are stepping in the ring at 25% and looking like a buzzsaw, you know. And
Yeah.
when we get down to the lighter weight classes, they're cutting that lean because they're desperate to make that weight,
Yeah.
you know. And you know
Yeah.
how it is; these guys are dehydrating themselves.
Oh man, it's horrible, man.
At one point in the city, I was county of Jefferson for my coaching wrestling. We had a clause in our contract that if you witnessed an athlete, not even of yours, another athlete at a tournament using a sauna suit and you did not report it, if you just saw it and they could prove it, you didn't report it, you could lose your coaching certification.
Are you kidding me? Whoa.
Well, kids died. Kids
I
died.
could get that, but man, they make putting it on everybody to tell, which I get it. Holy cow.
Oh, it's hardcore. They would literally yank your coaching license if you could be shown to have knowledge of people using sauna suits. You're not even guaranteed.
Man.
Nuts.
Wow, man.
Yeah,
'Cause I
it's
remember
hardcore.
sauna suits, man. I used to do that back when I was in judo, and
Yeah, yeah, we
we'd
all
wear
did
that
it.
dang
Well,
yeah.
it can kill you.
Yeah, well, yeah. Oh my gosh. Back in those days, we call that child abuse, man.
Oh yeah.
All that stuff, the sauna suit under your gi, and you're training and doing these crazy drills for 2 and 3 hours. Oh my gosh.
Well, I tell you what, man, that when that gi gets heavy and full of sweat, and
Man.
that you know how it is, the claustrophobia, and you can't breathe.
Oh.
I feel like some of that judo newaza, that is like, oh man, that is some of the you're down there just praying for a breath.
Oh man. I tell everyone, they when they talk about judo being, oh, it's great. I say, I love judo. That's the only thing I hate about judo. And they was, oh, the crazy throws. No, it was the getting back up after every throw, going through drills and getting
Breaks your
thrown.
will.
Oh man, yeah. You have to keep getting back up. You keep getting
God,
back up. My God. That was the
I would
worst part.
roll. I rolled over. I got up like a baby. I didn't
Yeah,
care.
right?
I got up just like a baby. I would lean into the wall if I had to. Of course, I'm a super heavyweight too. I
So
would.
it's okay,
I'm always 300 is a common weight for me. But
Oh man.
oh yeah. Anyway, I was able to get down to that 205, but I looked gone. I'm looking at my pictures and stuff like that. I had
Yeah.
cut a lot of muscle, and I remember getting in the ring with guys that I used to spar with, and next thing you know, I'm flying through the air, and I'm like,
Oh,
damn, they're picking me up. This is changing my game.
yeah, because
So
now shoot, you got the weight to hold you. Man, that's
yeah, losing all that weight literally radically affected how I had to fight, and I was not quite ready for that. I was surprised at how much that affected.
well, you could think about it. If you're so used to being that weight, your body, then in 4 months you drop 100 pounds.
Oh
You
yeah,
can't. You don't move. Even I don't think your mind's caught up yet to
no,
how
it
you
is
move. Your muscle
no.
memories are doing all the other stuff it used to do.
So they would get in on a double leg on me, and I'd do like a three-quarter sprawl, all confident. Next thing you know, I'm flying through the air, and I was like,
Yeah,
wait a minute, yeah, that ain't gonna work. I got to commit to
exactly.
this sprawl. Well, where
Mm.
did you get involved with judo? What was your first
Well,
judo experience?
first one once again was at Iowa State, man. Iowa
Iowa.
State, man. That's
Oh,
what I went to. I went to not the university. I went to Ames, Iowa.
little bit of wrestling pedigree at
A
Iowa.
little bit,
Just
man. We used
just
to do just a bit, man.
oh
These
man.
guys,
And what year
man.
was this?
I was at Iowa State. I went from 86 to
Dear God.
92. Yeah,
Holy Christ, yeah,
I'm a
buddy.
old I'm an old guy.
But no,
But man,
that is
we
a
did when days we do have drills once a month. We work with the wrestlers. So we'd have to take off our gi and go up.
wow,
And man, they tied us in knots and just beat the snot out of us, man.
wow.
It was crazy, man. But it was worth it, man. It was worth it, man. I enjoyed it a lot. Doing the sauna drills and going into the sauna room and working out with your gi on, and
Oh,
those were good old days, man.
that is
Good old
brutal,
days.
man. Brutal. I mean, I remember back then you could grab legs.
Yeah, you can do
Yeah.
all that back then. You get
Hmm.
down rondori, the whole thing, man.
Oh yeah.
It was good. It was good, man. So when did you do judo?
So I did I did some in Hawaii as a kid, and I wound up at a the sumo guy had a friend, a Japanese guy named Okano, and we would work out with him and his kids. And
Yeah,
so I did it pretty regular for a while at that home gym. And then when we left Hawaii, I fell out for a little while, and then I got back into judo in Louisville, and I
yeah.
worked out with the Carl Brown, the Louisville Judo Club, Waukesha Judo, which is Errol Cheatham. They're both passed on, those guys.
Yeah.
But the Toshi Judo Club was probably the biggest and most well organized. They definitely had the best athletes there. A
Yeah.
guy named Eberhard, German guy, and Cliff, and a big black fellow named Cliff. He was the cop, and he was my sparring partner. And then
Okay.
a guy named Mike Royce, which was a smaller white fellow. I think he was a cop too. And yeah, well, Cliff was the big guy there, so I was heavily sparring partner for him. And
Yeah.
man, I tell you what, boy, oh, that Toshi Judo, those guys, oh, they would wear you down. I
Man.
swear the oxygen was low in there sometimes, man.
You at least you felt like it.
It's like February. I'm over there opening a window, sticking my head
Right?
out the window, bro. It was rough.
Back then we didn't know anything else. We just thought this was it. This is how they did it, man.
Mhm,
And
mhm.
back then, man, I just, I hate to sound like that old guy, man. Back then,
Well, we are.
man, we are, man. But it was
But
brutal, man. I enjoyed
you're
it. I'm still good friends with some of the judo guys. We still shoot the crap at each other, and we still talk
right
about
on.
how we sucked back then.
Boy,
You know?
listen, there ain't no way to say it. American Judo, we do not compete with the rest of the world. We
Man,
got, I mean,
no,
Jimmy
man.
Pedro and Travis Stevens. We've had a couple little shiners. Of course,
Yeah.
you can't argue with that the blonde girl. What's that? Kayla Harrison. Thank you,
Kayla Harrison.
Kayla
Yeah,
Harrison.
Kayla Harrison.
My,
Yeah, she's a beast, man. Oh my
yeah,
God,
Kayla Harrison, man, it's
man.
incredible. So we pull.
She has a
We
great story too.
I've heard, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, interesting.
yeah,
And boy, it's like we get a flash in the pan once in a while, but there's just nothing we can do to get judo. I tried for so many years to get these guys. So I have wrestlers and boxers. They come to my MMA gym.
yeah.
It's a free MMA gym. We advertise all over, so I got
Oh,
all.
really? Okay.
Oh yeah, 100% free. And I'm looking. I told him I want your body, not your money. That was my shtick.
Okay.
And
Okay.
I'm looking. I'm trying to create great fighters. I'm trying to create great athletes, and I believe
Yeah.
they largely come from poverty and stuff like that. So, but I
Okay.
remember trying to
Okay.
put a judo gi on these MMA kids, and every once in a while, like they'd see a nice big Haraikoshi or like it's a Utsurugoshi or something.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Beautiful throw.
that
Yeah.
Utsurugoshi, dude. When you see an Utsurugoshi land right, that's some mythical crap right there.
Beautiful.
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 So they would see that, and I would be at the wrestling tournaments, and my kid would hit a throw, and the coaches would come over and be like, "What the hell was that?" And I was like, "Brother, that's an Ogoshi off this grip and blah, and this other one, yeah." So stuff they'd never seen, like for a wrestler, like Uchimata was
Oh
something
yeah.
they didn't really have a name for.
Yeah.
So they would see that and I was like, "No, look, we should judo book right here." Blah blah blah. They're like, "Whoa, okay, it ain't."
Yeah.
I remember this really tall, thin kid from Western, great wrestling program, all black kids from Western. They were the
Yeah.
black end of town, and this kid would hit double. He would get double overhook. No, he would get underhooks on his opponent, both doubles. He was so
Both.
tall and lean though, he could literally get their head under his arm as he got double underhooks. And then
Oh
he
my
would
God.
he would hit an Osotogari. He would hit this
Wow.
brilliant Osotogari, and no man
Mm.
escaped this. If this kid got you, if he got you to the Osotogari part of the throw,
Oh,
it
you're
was
done.
it was curtains. And
Put
I
you
used
through the floor.
and I tell you, I had a little bit of a thing because we didn't come up with money, and we were wrestling some of these big schools like Trinity and St. X that
Yeah.
commonly produce state champions, and so I was really happy to see the poor kids from the other end of town come in there and hold their own.
That's
Because
cool.
let's face it, dude, when you've got these wrestling programs that have big money,
Yeah.
and these kids are coming, they got an A, B, and a C team.
Yep. They got everything.
They are
Yep.
hard to deal with. And the thing is, you don't see, and you can speak on this, black guys in martial arts, right?
Yeah.
It's like, why do we see so many more black athletes succeeding in wrestling and public sports and football and stuff, and in Brazilian jiu-jitsu and stuff like that? I mean, it's like I did my DNA test not that long ago.
Yeah.
Found out I know my tribes now. I'm actually biracial. I was so proud of that.
Okay.
I
Good
was like,
stuff, man.
hell yeah, this is great. I was so proud of myself. I knew there's a reason I love my reggae music. And
There you
and,
go.
and I got to look back too at some of the greatest. Like my dad was kind of a jackass, and some of
Okay.
my martial arts instructors, the guys that really, man, were eternal figures,
Yeah.
all black guys.
Because coming through the era back in the day, and I always say back in the day,
Kung fu.
yeah,
Black
kung
people love
fu.
kung fu.
Yeah, man, that's what we grew up on in
Bruce
Southside
Lee.
Chicago, man.
Oh,
That's
you
all
from
it was. Oh
Southside
yeah,
Chicago?
born and raised, my
Are
friend.
you for
12
real?
deuce, 12 deuce,
Whoa!
brother.
Oh my
Oh yeah,
God!
oh
You were
yeah,
right there
man.
for that era.
Oh yeah, it
I
was.
used
But
to
that was the stuff back then.
segregated. I remember going. It was like de facto segregation. I used to drive out to this place called Magic Hands Kung Fu, way out in the west end of Louisville, Kentucky. All black. These guys, they did a kung fu school. They were
Yeah,
doing point karate, but man, they would hit you with a right cross like nobody.
try to
It
kill you with
was
it.
these white. Hey, listen, I ain't gonna try to sound racist, but the white guys did not fight like that, and the black guys were better fighters because they would integrate boxing. They were more
Everything in there.
they were more
Yep.
relaxed. They were more aggressive, and I felt like
Yeah.
the white culture they did a disservice to their men trying to, make them always like. Let's face it, the white culture is getting more and more apologetic or weak and
I don't know
more.
why. I don't
Don't
know
be
why
alpha.
people.
Don't be alpha. Black
Yeah,
guys
that's
are still
crazy.
black guys still allowed to be alpha though, right? I feel like it affects white culture worse.
But you know what it is, and that stems from what we see to now. You can say anything. I'm sorry. What group can you? How do I say? Treat like crap or talk down to them? Anything else, and no one gonna say boo to you,
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
It's the
Straight white
white,
male.
straight white male, right?
You know it.
And
You
that's
know
the
it.
sad thing. We've got to that point where we put those guys in that position that they have to apologize for everything. And my feeling is, man, why?
That's
Don't
a
let no one
great
put you in
point.
that corner, man. F
I,
that, man.
and I warn a lot of liberals these days that you better watch it because black men and Hispanic men can be naturally conservative a lot more than people think.
Oh, absolutely.
They
That's
do
our
not.
whole heritage is conservative. Yeah.
Dude, I'm telling you, I used to.
Yeah.
I warn white liberals all the time. They better not sit back and count on the black and Hispanic man's vote
That's right.
because you can't
That's
be.
right.
I mean, I am not. I am very, very. I try to be as loving and accepting of everybody in the world,
Everybody.
but
Yeah.
you cannot push certain things. In like the Hispanic community, I think Trump got like 60% of the
He's
Hispanic
got a
vote.
huge part of the extra. Yeah, it was
People,
unheard of.
it's unheard of. People don't
Yeah.
realize too that one of the number one demographics affected negatively by illegal labor is the Spanish-speaking population.
Absolutely.
I
And the
speak
liberals are
Spanish.
pushing and all that stuff. I wish I knew it. So I tried to learn Spanish
Oh
for a year.
wow,
And I think I got like hola.
dude! I took 7 years in high school and college, and I couldn't
Oh
speak.
man.
I couldn't speak much. But then I got a couple Hispanic dudes on my MMA team, and I started practicing more because I noticed the other coaches would freak out when I yelled instructions in Spanish, and
Yeah.
they were like, and every now and then my guy would be like, I don't know what the fuck you were saying. I was like, oh no, that's cool. But the other guys, they were freaking out because they thought we had super. They were. As soon as I was like, "Usa suprazo, usa suprazo," man, the coach looked at me like, "Holy shit, they're talking Mexican, dude." And I was like, "Yeah, si, senor, man." But you can
Yeah.
you can you can fuck with them too because like I
That's
I
good stuff.
like I'm only 5% black. You can't tell that I'm biracial. But when I start rattling off some Spanish, so I took 7 years in high school and college, couldn't
Yeah.
speak that much. Got a little practice at the MMA gym, had a little practice at work. But then I took a law enforcement job in South Florida, and let me tell
Yeah.
you, man, it was practica todos los días de la semana, man.
You had to know it.
Man, I didn't have un día no uso la español, man. It was like I started thinking in Spanish, you know?
Oh wow, really?
Yeah,
Did you ever start dreaming in Spanish?
it was fucking A. And at one point, man, I was like, this is why you got to express. I gotta tell you, this is one thing you'll appreciate, especially, right? Especially with black culture. The Spanish speakers, they have different words for booty. Okay,
Oh
so
yeah.
because I'll give it to black culture and Hispanic culture, way more healthy opinion of what's beautiful on a woman.
Oh yeah.
So, oh yeah, these poor white women. I did not know these poor girls. So, I feel so sorry for them. So anyway, I'm running this horticulture group in South Florida, Big Zoo, and the guy's like, I was like, yeah, man, I went to Walmart, and as soon as I said that, he said, Yo, Linda, and I was like, Yolinda? That's her name. Okay. So there's a woman named Yolinda that works in the Homestead Walmart, and I got to tell you what, this woman defies reality. And
Really?
this was before all the silicone injections and shit. Because there was transsexual down there who went to jail for injecting construction grade silicone
What?
into their transsexual. The transsexual market was a big one because they
Wow.
want some booty and stuff, and
Yeah.
she killed a few people with that. But anyway,
Oh my
I,
gosh.
I digress. The Olinda, so they said, nah, I ain't no culo, man, it's culon. I said, ¿Qué es la palabra culon? What is that? They said, no, culon is an ass of exceptional proportions. Now,
Cologne. I
culon,
gotta say that.
I was like, culon. I was like, oh, that is a beautiful thing. That's a beautiful. Y'all got grades of ass in your language. I was knew
Cologne.
I knew right then and there these were my people, man.
Right? I gotta try that on my buddy tomorrow in practice. Hey,
Coulon,
Cologne.
Coulon. Yeah, it's Culo and
Cool.
Coulon. Coulon.
Culo.
Uh,
Cologne.
Coulon. I think that's they tell me that's Cuban Spanish. Like
Okay.
my Spanish is not that good, but I speak Cuban grade. Like for instance, there's different words like a rat or an informant.
Yeah.
In Mexican Spanish is sapo, and that means toad. But
Toad?
toad for whatever reason. But in
Yeah.
Cuban Spanish, it's chivato, and that means you're forming your rat. You know, you
Oh,
basically
wow.
criminal form.
Oh, man.
Yeah,
Dang. I better be quiet because I can't say much anywhere. So I don't want to get people
yeah.
hem me up. I go in and say culo. You
Man,
got me
you
getting
you know,
shot.
you might raise an eyebrow, but if they're Mexican, they might be like, "What?"
How'd you know, bro?
Yeah, I'd be
I
like,
thought, hey.
hey, what are you talking?" I don't know if the Mexicans that it's a Cuban Spanish thing, so I might be leading you astray.
Right, that's all right. I'll try
Yeah,
anything once,
yeah.
sometimes twice.
Well,
Oh, man. But hey, now let's get back to what we're talking
yeah,
about. See, this is what I mean. This is what we talked about earlier. I just love our
yes,
talk. That's how you get to know someone. Talk about
yes.
everything,
Oh
man.
yeah,
Talk about
absolutely. Cover it
everything.
all. Cover it all.
Hell yeah, brother. Now, the big controversy with you,
Yeah,
as you know,
yeah,
the elephant in the room kind of
yeah.
thing. You're Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt.
Yes, yes.
Now, I know nothing. I'm just
Yes.
want to talk to the man himself. That's
Straight
what I
up.
want to talk to
No,
you. So
that's 100%.
tell me the story about the Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt
Yeah.
that everyone's in an uproar about.
Yes. And I bait him. I admit 100%. I
Yeah, I read
know.
some of your comments. I was like, this
Oh
dude's just
no.
baiting these dudes. What
I
is he
am.
doing?
I am. I see. You saw that one meme. I said I'm a weapon.
Yeah.
I weaponize y'all's hate for this. You know what I'm saying? So it was. It was. Yeah. It's funny. So I have been training in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu for over 30 years.
Okay.
In 1993, I signed up at one of the first Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu clubs in the nation, Alan Magnello's place over in Louisville, Kentucky. Alan's a cop and ended up. Man, this guy's brilliant, brilliant athlete and stylist. So I was able to do Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu in a class level there. I had all these Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu guys come to my MMA club for 30, 50 years. And curious story too. Um, when I left Miami, I got a job in Coastal Carolina. It was a good promotion.
Mhm.
And frankly, I had the real estate situation down there. I had to sell out because I didn't make a lot of money at that point. So I was like,
Okay.
hey, $15 case of beer. Carolina's a little cold, but I can still go surfing. And hey, I was like, let's try this. And
Oh man.
it paid off. It paid off. Taking that. I got into Miami real estate in the 2008 financial crisis and
Oh
made out.
wow. Right
Made
into it.
I got out of there right on time, man, and those
Man.
prices were through the roof. But anyway, so and then I moved to coastal North Carolina, and I got nowhere to go. I'm brand new to town. So I see this little jiu-jitsu club in the local town, little small town. So I'm like, man, here we go. Let's do this. So I
Yeah.
walk in, I sign up, I tell them my background. I say, hey, Gavin, we only do gi work. Um, gotta wear a white belt, blah, blah, blah. I said, oh, no, I'm
Yeah.
okay. Technically, I did not have an official Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu rank over the years. People would hand me blue belts and purple belts that came to my club. And of course, you know how it is. Somebody hands you a blue belt or a purple belt, you think like, thank you, sensei. Oh man, that is such an
Right.
honor. That
Right.
is such an honor. But back in the day, we're all a bunch of MMA meatheads. We're like, these belts, we laugh.
Yeah.
No, but
Right.
we ain't gonna be disrespectful to the man, though.
Right.
Jesus
Right.
Christ, right? That is an honor, man. But we don't wear it or anything like that. We forget about it. So
Right.
anyway, I'm over here. I signed up at 2016, 2017 local jiu-jitsu club, and I'm working out there, having a good time. But they're normal people. I'm a 300-pound monster. It's like I'm not getting a whole lot of work, and so I ended up taking a wrestling coaching job, and starting a new MMA club. And now I'm training MMA athletes and having a great time. And this kid is one of my most important people at that club. He's obsessed with martial arts. He wants belt
Mm.
ranking. And I'm like,
Okay.
oh yeah, buddy, no problem. I can take care of you. I'll take care of you, no problem. I can call my judo coaches, call my BJJ coaches. We'll take care. So I get on the
Right.
phone, half of them dead. Man,
Oh,
I'm over here. I'm over here going, gee, how am I gonna do this? So I start calling USJA and different organizations, like telling them my background, and I'm like, hey guys, and man, a lot of these places disjointed mess. They didn't know what to tell me. It was just
really?
a bad experience, man. hmm
Wow.
Really bad. I would, jump through all the hoops, do all the certifications, blah blah blah. But if I couldn't pull a certificate out, they were like, no. And I was like, the man's dead. I can't. I'm literally the featured UK on a judo website, and like these people are questioning my background. I'm like, this
Wow.
man is. I am the featured UK on his website. I got pictures of the man teaching in my club. Anyway,
Yeah.
so I started making memes about it, right? And it's all belt rank memes, and I was, hitting hard, and I was saying things like, "Hey, listen, if I come to your club and dominate your open mat, tap out your Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt, man, you need to hand me a rank." You know what I'm saying? And
Right.
do I really believe that? Kinda, not really though. And,
Yeah.
but it strikes a visceral nerve with the people that have paid for lessons and classes versus that, a Ronin approach to just going to all these clubs and wrestling and fighting with black
Okay.
belts. And, so anyway, this caught attention. People started catching attention. And I started getting guys offering me belts, right? And
Really? Okay.
yes, absolutely. He said, "Hey, Gavin, I looked up your background, and a lot of these business hustlers,
Yeah.
there's one. I've got a bunch of them sent me private emails, like, listen, Gavin, you're a controversial character, so we can't really talk about this on the internet in front of everybody, but I feel like you're a purple belt under my system, and if you pay me this and that, and
Uh,
maybe and this and blah blah blah."
oh man.
So I'm sitting here going, "Hey, but here's the thing. Here's the thing. My kids. Here I am now, an older man. I'm way past my competitive prime. I'm
Yeah.
looking down at all these kids. They want that paperwork.
Right.
They want that belt, man. They don't. It's not like back at the Fight Club when I got I got a skinhead, a Muslim, and a frickin'
Right.
and a ninja in here. They don't care about those belts.
Right.
But when I got a 9-year-old or an autistic kid or something like that, that certificate means everything to them.
Right. Right.
Everything. And I'm over here going, my sensei is dead. And I'm like, dude, I'm a little pissed because these people are questioning my legitimacy.
Right.
So I got a little more aggressive with my means. And
Okay.
finally, a guy contacted me, and his background, I thought he was hustling me at first. Then I was like, wait a minute, you're not. No, come on. What?
Yeah.
Who? Where? Huh? And I
Right.
start looking at, we're talking for years. I start sending the tapes back and forth. And about the second year we're talking, I'm like, this guy's real. This guy's real. He knows these people. Holy crap. And the man said, listen, Gavin, you are my Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt. That is it, 100%. And I was like, thank you. And he's a very well respected guy. He's very well known. And I said,
Okay.
I don't want. Of course, I took the rank just like I always did before. But
Yeah.
I'm desperately concerned about this man being harassed by trolls, right?
Oh, okay.
Because I have been, man, you've seen my memes. I've
Yeah.
been hitting a little too hard. And so
Yeah.
I got guys, I got mad people. I got a guy showed up at my gym with to be honest, he had a gun at one point, right?
What?
Yeah, these guys showed up at my gym. I got into this guy called, so I put up another meme rank thing, and this guy from Greensboro or something like that, a couple hours away. That's where all
Yeah.
the balls come from. They're never down the street. They're always 3-4
Right.
hours away. So this guy starts calling me a fake black belt and stuff like that, a little rude. I come back at him, and two of his friends show up to my gym, and one of them is big old strong fella, big fat guy, and a smaller guy. They show up to my gym with this gym raid mentality, right? And
Okay.
and the guy, he comes in and starts talking a little too much. I'm just dead silent, just letting him talk, letting him talk, letting him talk. And finally, he feels like it's creepy, right? He's like, dude, why aren't you even talking about it? Like, I feel like we could have been friends. We could talk this out. So he's
Yeah.
softening his approach.
Yeah.
I'm like, dude, you came to my gym, talking smack to me online, you making fun of me. You're here. Let's get this done. It's fine with me. I don't mind.
Right.
And so he softens a little bit. And just then, 3 or 4 of my students show up, and the whole mood changes, gets a little softer, a little friendlier. And he's talking. He wants to run. He's trying to sell all my athletes. He runs over top of my black athlete about fast twitch muscles, and he's just you can tell this guy's a salesman. He's just a major salesman. So I roll
Gotcha.
my eyes and I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna treat these guys like a couple people came to the club.
Right.
They're softening up. And one of my athletes, he's a very good up and comer MMA fighter, he said, hey, listen, y'all here for a gym raid? What's this about? And he softened again, blah, blah, blah. But he did tap out two of my best guys. And he's a
Okay.
big, strong guy,
Yeah.
So anyway, I hook up with his smaller guy, and I'm gentle, I'm nice, but I completely smoke the guy. And then
Yeah.
right after I'm done with him, I walk over to the big guy, shake his hand, same exact scenario. Attack helicopter, he pulls guard on me, and I got it all on video. I
Yeah.
try to be really friendly. No squeeze on the grips or anything like that. But I'm gonna float over the guy and just roll right over him.
Yeah.
And then at the end of the day, they're talking about him. The dude reaches down. He's like, yeah, I do these gym raids all the time, but I don't know fuck with y'all. And he pulls a gun out of his backpack. And he's like,
What?
see, I even brought a gun just in case y'all were crazy. And I'm over here
What?
going, And I'm over here going, man, this is for real, dude. You know what I'm saying?
Right?
You gotta be able to check your like if I would have been like, yeah, motherfucker, you're here now. Now it's
Yeah.
on. And now we get in a for real fight and I'm, pounding this guy in the head or whatever else. Man, you never know what his friend
You
does.
never know.
So
Exactly,
these
man.
guys coming through your door, they might be crazy. They
Yeah.
might be on drugs. They might be for real mad because they think you did steal a black belt. I did another meme about it. I was like, listen, if I'm going to steal a black belt, I'm going to steal fourth degree. I ain't going to. Why am I just going to steal the regular one, right?
Right, right.
That's like there's $3,000 on the table and I steal one. You know,
Okay, good analogy. Good analogy. Yeah.
ask a cop that. Yeah, we have worked for law enforcement. That's basic drug rip. I mean, he ain't gonna take 3/4 of that shit. You know what I'm saying?
Right?
These people are fools. But anyway, I was honored with that belt. And to me, it was, I didn't think I cared, but now at my age, and this is how age changes us, I'm
Yeah.
looking down at these children with their eyes and they want that certificate, they want that belt. And for the first time in my life, I realized how much it meant to me.
Gotcha.
It
Gotcha.
actually mattered for the first
Yeah.
time in my life. But once again, I do feel it important to keep his name secret for now. However, I do have some plans coming up.
Well, let
And
me ask you this.
yeah,
On,
go ahead.
on that with keeping him secret, I mean, does he have a hey, you telling your story. That's all.
Yeah,
I'm not a gotcha kind of guy.
no,
I
no,
got
please
questions,
go ahead. No, you got it right.
if he's, he has schools, he has a school or no?
Yeah.
Does he has a school?
Oh yeah.
All right. And he has black belts already under him and everything.
Oh yeah.
But why would that be a problem to share his name?
It's not.
You know what I mean?
I've decided that I don't have enough respect for the Brazilian Jiu Jitsu community to give
Okay.
them that. And I've decided that I'm going to toy with them for a while. And
Okay.
the next thing I'm going to do is come up with a meme and say, hey, yeah, I got my lineage. That's because that's all they want to know. Listen, man,
Right.
I said that I had a Pride Fighting Championship veteran teaching at
Right.
my MMA club. In the same paragraph, I'm talking about my Brazilian Jiu Jitsu black belt. And what do these guys want to know? What is the question they ask? Who gave
What's
me
the
my
meaning?
black belt? I just
Yeah.
come back and I'm like, y'all sound like trophy wives trying to snatch a woman's purse out of her hand to check if it's a legitimate product. I told what combat athlete you say, yeah, I had a Pride FC, and I intentionally don't name him because I want to know
Right.
what these guys are going to ask. I've been accused of being a psychological terrorist by people before because I can't help it. I like verbal judo as much
Okay.
as I like regular judo. So
There you go.
I ain't gonna name the man. I said I had a Pride Fighting Championship guy teaching at my MMA club, and they are asking me about who gave me my black belt. And that tells you right there all you need to know about these people's priorities.
Gotcha.
You know what I'm
Gotcha. I
saying?
get it. I
Yeah.
get it, man. Like I
Hmm.
said, I saw the I'm in that group too with you, and I saw the
Yeah.
message. I'm like,
Oh, the
who is
50
this?
and over. That's
Oh,
where
yeah, that's it.
dude, I gotta tell you, there's no fool like an old fool. Some of these guys I mean, these guys 60 years old, and they are talking to me. They are talking smack to me. I never believed. I was like, what?
Man, I saw it, man.
I can't hear you.
I
I
was
can't.
like,
It's right there in print.
right. That's just a man. You know what? I understand martial arts. There's a lot of egos involved in martial arts. A lot of
And
I used to say a lot of dicks. Yeah.
they paid a lot of money for those practices.
Yeah.
They
Hey.
went to school for a long time for this. And
Yeah.
and here's the thing: these guys are not reading my meme; they're just looking at the photo, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
That's another angle I use. I have my memes are my descriptions are really long because I got all that shit in there. But I
Right.
know they're not reading the fine print.
They're just looking for what they want to
They
see. That
just
little
scan
yeah.
through it. They look at the photo. They draw a conclusion. I'm trying to bait them in for attention. And look what happened. Though look what finally happened. I got a Brazilian Jiu Jitsu black belt because those memes brought attention to my campaign.
Ah, gotcha.
And those
Gotcha.
fools, if it weren't for those fools calling me a fraud and yelling and screaming at the top of their lungs, I wouldn't have got all this attention.
Good point. Very good point.
Nobody gives a shit that I started the first MMA club in the city of Louisville, maybe in the nation.
Right.
Nobody gives a shit that women left me and I got my career threatened for supporting No Holds Barred back in the day.
Yeah.
Nobody gives a shit about that stuff. the unsung heroes that lay the paving stones, nobody gives a shit about those guys.
That's true.
All they want's the drama.
Yeah, you know what? You're not wrong. You're not wrong. Well, let me ask you this: how
Mhm.
has this whole thing affected your gym? Did it help bring more
Yeah,
people in because they
dude.
want to see the legit guy? They're like, oh, this guy is legit. I'm gonna
Are you
train on you.
kidding? Immediately, the public doesn't give a rat's ass about any of that legitimacy talk. Who your sensei? Nothing. You walk in, you do an armbar, a harai goshi, and a double leg shot. They are sold. They are
Nice.
sold. You know how it is. They just
No,
want to
I
see
know
you
exactly.
prove it on the mat. That's all there is to it. So
Yeah.
they come in there, and I got college age athletes who are big, strong guys, and every one of my guys is hitting clean technique, well groomed, well spoken, well mannered. That's what the public cares about. They don't
Yeah.
give a shit. I got
That's true.
I got some stuff posted in the back of my gym about predation and stuff like that. Nobody goes over there and reads my USDA and my safe sport and all these different coaching licenses. They don't care about any of that. It's amazing, but they don't.
Yeah, that's true. You're not wrong. You are
Mhm.
not wrong. Man, this has been awesome, man.
Yeah,
just getting to know you and your background.
thank you.
You
Yeah,
know what, man? I really appreciate that,
I
man.
haven't had enough. I'd really like to ask you some more questions too, because I didn't. Well, you let me talk the whole time. You didn't really.
Well,
But then again,
yeah,
your audience knows you really well, and
exactly.
so
But
they're.
hey, if you ever want to have me on, if you do it, I think you said you guys are looking at doing a podcast, right?
I'm
You and your
looking at
buddy.
starting one, but I'm
Okay.
so bad at this that I don't know. I mean, I don't know if I'm gonna be able to. I tried a few times. I can't even get my 720 resolution working on this thing. Unless I go out and buy a gaming computer and try
Oh,
to
yeah,
raise my game
you
level.
don't need all that, man. Trust me, from trial and error, man. You just need a good software system and
Yeah,
some good mics, man. And
I,
I've said before, I spent a lot of money on crappy ones.
I
So,
and in that vein, guess what else? The memes also brought my old training partners that have long since lost interest, sold all their mass and training. They're
yeah.
calling me saying, "Gavin, I read all the memes and all these people reacting to you and stuff. We ought to start a podcast." Did you ever think about that one gym idea we were talking about? Oh, remember that blonde? Yeah, oh yeah. And so now I'm getting all this positive attention. And what these trolls don't realize is when they call me a no good fat slob, fraud, blah blah blah. 90% of the people reading that stuff are going to look me up and be like, "That man just threw a spinning wheel kick. Look at that! Hey,
Yeah, that guy maybe. Yeah,
look
let
at
me
that!
check
I'm gonna
it.
take my kid over there for some training." Yeah,
Yeah, well, you know what? Everybody like we were talking about, just like in the ring, the audience wants the brawl, right?
they do.
So bring the eyes in, and that's what
Yes,
you've done. You have a brawl online, and it's bringing the eyes to you. And I'm
and
glad for you, man.
and I will definitely if a guy wants. I get challenge matches and stuff like that. This last guy, Dan Genovan, right? Just like he's 55 years old, kind of frail looking. I'm over here going, what on earth are you? He's like, I'm gonna come up here and tap you out in February. Yeah, I'm coming. Sounds like Randy Macho
Really?
Man Savage on the internet. So you know what I'll do? Of course, I'll do a meme on it. I will freaking put up you versus me, and I'll put the date up there, and I'll go with you if you want to show up. That's fine. Come on in, Dan, or whoever,
That's awesome,
whoever else, whoever. Every now and then somebody shows up like those two clowns with gun people. But
man.
the fact is, 99.999% of these smack talkers, they ain't even gonna come back tomorrow and respond to that thread.
No, no, they won't come see it. It's just everyone has an agenda, good or bad. Everyone's got an
Mm,
agenda. A lot of people are bored. It is
they
what
are.
it is,
It
man.
is.
It
And
is
like you
what it is.
said, there's a lot of machismo, a lot of emotions, a lot of just emotions, right?
Yeah,
And I,
yeah,
I try to take the high road. Like, I do not talk about a man's family. I do not talk about his
yeah,
physique under most circumstances. If they push me far enough, I will escalate. I try to. So, what was the Empire Strikes Back? When Luke goes in the cave, Yoda says, "Hey, whatever you bring in there, whatever you take in there, it's exactly what you're going to get out." And,
yeah.
and
Oh yeah,
I was like, that's beautiful. He's basically telling Luke that you're going to get reciprocating whatever your aggression will be reciprocated with. It's going to be
exactly,
what you bring.
exactly.
You're going to get. And also, I hate bullies. All the years I've been coaching these kids, and I've seen kids crying. This internet bully situation,
Oh
they are
yeah,
killing themselves.
yeah, yeah. And it's sad, man.
Suicide
Sad.
is terrifying. We've got to. I wish like we have like these anti-bully groups and stuff like that. They do
Yeah.
not do a good enough job.
I think with that, there's a passion for me also, and seeing these kids coming through, and I look at what has happened with our youth, and I have a whole thing on that. We've softened them so much that they can't take not all of them. I'm saying for the most
Oh, you
part.
got a point though.
You know what I mean? They can't take a little harassing, but that was the
That's
part.
true.
Think about how we grew up. We had
Yes,
razzings in this part of
at the
life. We move on.
playground,
Yeah,
right? But it can't follow you home on your
exactly.
smartphone.
You're absolutely right. That's why it
Yes,
changed. That's where it changed
it's
right there.
social media, and
Yep.
man, like these little girls are going at each
Yeah.
other, and yeah,
24/7, man.
you think it does make you stronger up to a point, but
Yeah.
then when you get like autistic kids, or
Yeah.
God help you, kids with different types of developmental challenges and stuff
That's
like that,
true. That's true.
I would really
Yeah.
like to see a way that we can work better as a society to stop this online bullying, man, because it is dangerous.
It is very dangerous.
And
You know
these
what?
kids that end up shooting up schools, we always hear the same thing, right?
Yep.
I mean, you always
Yep.
hear they were bullied.
Yep. Yep. They were bullied. They're
They were
quiet
bullied.
guy. He didn't have any friends or
Right.
whatever it is. Yeah. No one
Right.
talked to him.
The
You
weird
know.
guy. We didn't
Yeah.
have. Who
Exactly.
knew? Who knew?
Yeah.
Remember that guy that went and shot up the Tops supermarket?
Oh
That
yeah.
remember him?
Yeah.
That crazy
Yeah.
white supremacist kid.
Yep.
He had. Guess what? He was known for killing cats and burying them in his yard.
Oh my God!
Are
Then
you tell?
no one saw that.
Are you kidding me? Are you kidding?
The
We're talking about a red flag. This guy.
signs were there, man.
Signs were there.
Man, brother, there's a lot going on out there, man. And one day,
Hmm.
hopefully, and that's big fingers crossed, and all
Yeah.
these quotation marks that
Yeah.
we can fix all this stuff in this world, but it's going to take us all to do it, my brother.
It
It
will.
really
Yeah.
is.
It will.
It
We got to
really
set a
is.
good example. We got to hold.
Yep.
We got to hold our heads up. Set a good example. We got to be men.
Yep.
We got to be men. We're
We
men.
have to be men. We
We
need
have to
more
be
men.
men. We
Yeah.
have to be men. We have to have outlets for masculinity.
Yes.
We have to accept the fact. And I feel like we are suppressing this testosterone. I'll go back to the gorilla society and stuff like
Yeah.
that. Those gorillas, man, they have high blood pressure and they have heart problems even with perfect diets, perfect physiques, and getting exercise in the sun and rain
Really?
just through stress. They can if
Wow.
you take that primate, it looks like a like a giant muscular gorilla. And if he doesn't have enough women and enough friends and enough fights, he doesn't have a healthy heart. They got
Mm.
they got to have they got to have a healthy society to have a healthy heart.
Yeah. We see a lot of that out here. We see a
Hmm.
lot of that in our society. But the truth is, we talked about before. I think a lot of it too is it's so many different formulas. I'm not gonna get on one or the other, but everything together, and it's part of the diet, it's part of our social environments, it's
Cool.
part of the bullying, it's part of how we interact with each other. Man, it causes so many problems in this society. It really does, man.
And you can speak heavily on that with your background, especially in a big city like that.
Oh man, big city Chicago. Come on, man.
I've been to
You ain't joking.
Chicago once or twice, and that is an amazing place. That
Man,
is,
it's a place, it's beautiful in some areas, but then again, we know where not to go.
ooh, boy, you got to know your social cues, and
Exactly.
boy, of course, with you got Rust Belt degradation and more poverty and stuff, it gets harder and harder. And
Yeah.
I've always been a big critic of the drug war and the way it's handled.
Oh, of
Um,
course, of
I
course.
I used to
Yeah,
I used to drive me crazy. I would talk to my young athletes and say, "My God, if you're getting pulled over, you're getting pulled out, you got a dime bag of pot in your pocket, please, for God's sake, just give it up. Don't
yep.
run, don't
It ain't
fight,
worth it. It ain't
don't
worth
do
it.
that.
Just gonna make it worse, man.
Don't make it
That's
worse,
it, man.
a lot worse."
Exactly. But man, this has been awesome, brother.
Yeah, Tony,
Brother
thank you.
Hilo, I'm telling you, this has been good stuff, man. But
Yeah,
like
we
I
have to
always
do
say
it
before,
again
we I'm
for
serious.
sure.
We gotta do this summer too. Next time someone comes out and challenges you,
Oh yeah, oh yeah,
record it, we'll pop it on.
oh yeah.
But hey, before we get you out of here, man, tell everyone how they can find you, all your social media links and all that kind
Yeah.
of stuff.
So basically, my new club, and once again, my whole ethos is giving underprivileged youth access to martial arts training, because martial arts in the United States is entirely a commercial industry, whereas the rest of the world, the places that are dominating MMA these days, they have public sports infrastructure. If you go to the community center in Dagestan, you can box and wrestle and everything else. You go to the community center in Louisville, Kentucky, they will kick you out like they did us. The
Yeah.
fact is, we are living in a society that is way too uptight about those things. So my whole thing is about bringing basically poor kids the opportunity to train high quality martial arts. And the city, Burgaw, Burgaw, North Carolina. So I, just like Louisville MMA, My new club is called Burgaw, MMA. And all you got to type in the internet anywhere, YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, whatever, Burgaw MMA FC, and you will find me. My phone number's on the front page.
All right, brother.
Yes, sir.
That's
Tony, I really
awesome, man.
appreciate it. Man.
Hey, man, I appreciate you, man. It's good to get to know you, man, and now made another friend.
Yeah.
And, brother, let's do this again, man. You take care of
Definitely.
yourself, and we'll talk soon, my friend.
You got it. Thank you, brother.
All right, brother. Take care of yourself.
Take it easy.
All right, man. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Oh, man.